2100 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The nation celebrated Surprise Day today to pay tributes to the retaliatory attack of the Pakistan Air Force after India's botched Balakot airstrike last year. The Pakistan Army spokesman has warned that if Pakistan's sovereignty is challenged, the country will respond with full force. Following days of anti-Muslim riots in the Indian capital, the United Nations Secretary General has stressed for calm and normalcy. The United States, France and Russia have issued security alert for their citizens in India due to the growing incidents of mob violence by Hindu extremists. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on National Health Services says the federal and provincial governments have collectively made concrete steps to cope with coronavirus. The Prime Minister, who visited Doha today to hold talks with the Qatari leadership on bilateral issues, returned to Islamabad this evening. And now the news in detail. The nation celebrated Surprise Day today to pay tributes to the retaliatory attack by the Pakistan Air Force after India's botched Balakot airstrike on this day last year. It was on this day when the Pakistan Air Force carried out Operation Swift Retort and shot down two Indian Air Force fighter aircraft. The operation resulted in the capture of Indian pilot Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthanam. After his MiG-21 was shot down, the pilot was later handed over to the Indian authorities as a goodwill gesture. Throughout the crisis, the Pakistan Armed Forces displayed full combat readiness and acted with a high degree of inter-service harmony. Addressing a ceremony in connection with 27th February in Islamabad today, the Air Chief, Mujahid Anwar Khan, said Pakistan Air Force, along with other services, is fully prepared to counter any threat to the country. He said, "We will not make any compromise on the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Pakistan." To mark the day, the Pakistan Air Force staged an impressive air show at the Seaview Beach in Karachi today. Prime Minister Imran Khan says when musicians who have all their lives rallied for peace start taking notice of the massacres in India, it is time the world must stand up and take notice of it. In a tweet today, he urged the world to stand up on the right side of history. The Director General Inter-Services Public Relations, Major General Babar Iftikhar, says the armed forces are fully capable and prepared to respond to any aggression or misadventure by India. Addressing a news conference in Rawalpindi this afternoon, he said Pakistan is taking the recent threatening statements of the Indian leadership very seriously. The Director General ISPR warned that if Pakistan's sovereignty is challenged, the country will respond with full force. Referring to the constant threats on the eastern border, the Director General ISPR said the Indian forces have been committing ceasefire violations along the line of control, endangering the regional peace. He said Pakistan Army responds to the Indian aggression along the line of control in a befitting manner. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation has strongly condemned organized violence against Muslims in various parts of India, especially in New Delhi. In a statement, Independent Permanent Human Rights Commission of the OIC expressed regrets over the latest spate of horrific incidents in New Delhi, where homes, mosques and businesses of Muslims were attacked by extremist Hindu mobs, resulting in the loss of dozens of precious lives. The Commission urged the Indian government to hold impartial inquiry into reports of recent violence and ensure that all minorities, including Muslims, are able to exercise and enjoy all human rights. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has stressed that calm and normalcy be restored in the Indian capital, New Delhi. At a media briefing, the United Nations Secretary General spokesperson Stefan Dujarric said the Secretary General is closely following the situation in New Delhi, and it is his constant position that peaceful demonstrations should be allowed and the Indian forces show restraint. The American Commission on International Religious Freedom has strongly condemned the deadly violence against Muslims in the Indian capital, New Delhi. In a statement, the watchdog noted with grave concern that the Indian police did not intervene to protect Muslims from mob attacks in clear violation of the international human rights. The commission called for serious efforts by the Indian government to protect Muslims and other minorities from brutal and unchecked violence. Top American diplomat Alice G. Wells has urged India to refrain from violence and respect the right of peaceful assembly. In a tweet, she said, "Our hearts go out to the families of deceased and injured in New Delhi's mob attacks." Meanwhile, Chairman Foreign Affairs Committee of the American House of Representatives Elliot Lance Angel also expressed serious concern over the deaths in India due to communal violence over the past couple of days. Taking to Twitter, he said the right to protest is a key aspect in any democracy of the world. The United States, France and Russia have issued security alert for the citizens in India due to the growing incidents of mob violence by Hindu extremists. In the separate statements, the United States and Russian embassies in New Delhi and France's foreign ministry cautioned the citizens against traveling within the country and avoid gatherings. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan is actively engaged with the Iranian government to deal with the spread of coronavirus and the evolving situation. This was stated by the Foreign Office spokesperson Aisha Faruqi at the weekly news briefing in Islamabad today. She said Pakistan fully supports the efforts of the Iranian authorities in managing the outbreak of the virus. The spokesperson said our embassy and 2 consulates in Iran are alert and reaching out to Pakistani community members there, including Zaireen and students. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on National Health Services, Dr. Zafar Mirza, says the federal and the provincial governments are collectively taking concrete steps to cope with coronavirus. He made the remarks during his visit to Pakistan-Iran border at Taftan today, where he reviewed the safety measures. The Special Assistant said strict screening is being carried out at all the airports and ground routes. As the deadly coronavirus spreads fast across the globe, Brazil has confirmed the first infection in Latin America. While Iran, Italy and China have already reported hundreds of new cases, the infection has also been detected for the first time in Pakistan, Sweden, Norway, Greece, Romania and Algeria. 20 cases have been reported in Germany, while 59 in the United States. Meanwhile, in China, 433 new cases were reported today, with 29 deaths in 31 provincial-level regions. Prime Minister Imran Khan has arrived in Islamabad after completing his day-long visit to Qatar. The visit was aimed at strengthening bilateral cooperation and exchange views with the Qatari leadership on regional developments. The Interior Minister Ijaz Ahmed Shah says improving visa facilities is one of the top priorities of the government. Talking to the Ambassador of Bosnia, Saqib Farouk, in Islamabad today, he said Pakistan has always shared good relations with Bosnia and will make all-out efforts to further enhance cooperation with it. The 9th session of Pakistan-Kazakhstan Intergovernmental Economic Joint Commission was held in Islamabad. Both the sides called for early completion of agriculture and tourism agreements. The Foreign Secretary Sohail Mahmood said Pakistan and Kazakhstan are committed to promote tourism, trade and investment with each other. And now cricket. In the Pakistan Super League 2020, chasing a victory target of 188 runs set by Islamabad United at Rawalpindi, Quetta Gladiators were 5 runs for the loss of no wicket in the first over a short while ago. Batting first, Islamabad United scored 187 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. And finally, the weather. Rain, wind, thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills is expected in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Islamabad, Upper Central Punjab, Northern Balochistan, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan during the next 24 hours. Hailstorm is also expected at a few places during the period. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.